It'll be a whole lot more enjoyable for you. Let's start this rolling. And off we go. So I have got some little Twitter handles down there, at Creative Collect if you want to tweet us, and at BB Boutique is Beginning Boutique, Sarah's company. And there's also a bunch of hashtags you might like to take a look at as well. Gosh, I'm doing really well here. There we go. So hashtag Team BB is the one they use for Beginning Boutique. Influencer marketing is the topic, so is Instagram, and it's also a fashion business, so you might like to drop that in as a hashtag as you tweet live. So for those of you I haven't met before, my name's Yvette Adams, and I'm the founder of the Creative Collective who are bringing you this presentation today. So you can probably tell from the accent, I'm from New Zealand originally. I travelled a whole lot and wound up on the Sunshine Coast in 2004. I started 6 businesses, sold 2, and I'm running 3 right now. And I think that gives me a little bit of cred to interview other fellow business people. Also in my business journey, I've come across a lot of amazing business people, and I have these amazing conversations. And I often think, gee, if only my clients, if only my networks could hear this conversation too, they'd build their knowledge and be able to do some great things as well, which is why we run these free webinar sessions. And lately we've been starting to interview some really cool people. So look out on our website for ones coming up. Some of my passions are being a mum. I've written a book on kids and technology. I also love tech products, entrepreneurs, startups, and just hearing their story. I'm an ex-journalist, so I think I'm continuing and keeping my hand in that pie by doing these little interviews from time to time. I'd now like to introduce you to Sarah Timmerman, who is the founder of Beginning Boutique. So Sarah, I'm just going to unmute you now. Hi Sarah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. Sorry about those little technical things first. I thought I had all the right settings on, and of course I didn't, but I knew what to do to fix it. So, Sarah, we met through the Telstra Businesswomen's Network, didn't we?
Yeah. So it's such a great alumni to be a part of, and it will definitely mean a lot of awesome interviews coming to this podcast.
Cool. And what I also was a bit amused by when I put my photo up on the other slide and then yours is they're both stripes. It almost looks like I've just taken a dress off your rack and put it on for the earlier photo, which I thought was really uncanny and coincidental.
So it's good for aesthetics.
What's that? Good for aesthetics. It is.
Yeah.
No doubt have an eye for that. So, Sarah, Beginning Boutique, tell us a bit about the business. When did it start? Where are you based? Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so Beginning Boutique started in 2008, and we're based in Brisbane, Australia. The business really just started from a passion for wanting to make online shopping available every day at a lower price point than just massive designer prices and that sort of thing. So when I started Beginning, it was because I had visited a store in Paris, actually, which just gave me an incredible experience as to what customer service could be. And so from that, we've really just made that the point of difference. It's to treat our customers like they're our best friends. And what you can see on the screen here on the Shop BB TV, this is actually our TV campaign that we did with 4 Beginning Boutique customers, and then we hooked them up with getting modelling contracts, hopefully with Vivian. So it was an introduction for them, and of course a nationwide ad campaign. So yeah, lots of cool, fun things happening at the moment.
What a fantastic idea. But let's go back to the beginning of Beginning Boutique. Was it a home-based business? Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so it was a home-based business for quite a while, actually. And yeah, the idea, I can flesh that story out a little bit more. So when I turned 21, my mum offered me a trip to Paris, or a 21st birthday party, and I took the trip to Paris. And it was on that trip that I got to go down the Rue Saint-Honoré and got to explore some stores that just had phenomenal customer service. And one of them is called Colette. And when you go inside of Colette, it's this incredible store experience with glass all around it, beautiful art books in front of you, and in the back there is actually a technology section with incredible technology ranging from handheld projectors you could film on as well to gold phones, and this is back when the Motorola Razr was cool. So they had iPods on the wall for music instead of playing CDs, which was just crazy to me as well. So it was this experience of really cool product mixed with people that actually cared if you had a good shopping experience that inspired me to start a boutique. And then there was nothing available on James Street in Brisbane, which if anyone is from Brizzy is listening, they would know that street. There was nothing available there. And it was 2008, so the GFC was just about to hit. So thank God I didn't get that space. And a friend suggested that I went online. And so from there, I did go online. And the first website was an absolute nightmare, built in Cold Fusion, terrible functionality, was down 50% of the time for a year, charged $1 a week on packages, like just did all this really weird, bad, bad business, and I paid way too much for it as well. So yeah, that was the start of beginning.
Well, that's I love your honesty, and I think people are on here to hear about social media, but I think it's also really important to understand where you come from and that you have made mistakes. We all do, and that you do face challenges. So we always appreciate the honesty of the ups and downs of the roller coaster ride that is being an entrepreneur. So let's just talk about building the business as well. When did you first get people starting to work for you? How did you kind of establish the brand and feel like you were getting some momentum?
Yeah, so my first employees came on board in 2012. So it took me quite a long time to get to that point. So basically when we started to build momentum was I decided to do a pop-up store in Southbank, and I just saved everything that we made and saved up enough money to re-platform to Interspire. And it was after we re-platformed that we could actually start to build some momentum with Google rankings, and also just having something that worked, which was a novelty. And from that, it then moved into a 30 square metre office in Archerfield. It pretty much looked like a drug den, but it was really nice on the inside, and it was finally not my house, which was a huge benefit as well. And then from being in that office, we quickly outgrew that and moved to West End. And then, yeah, we re-platformed again from Interspire to Shopify, but quickly realized it didn't have the customer service aspects that we needed or the customization that you can really get from Magento. So then moved to Magento Enterprise. And then that's where we're at now.
Fantastic. So, yeah, quite a few website additions. And how many staff are you up to these days?
We have 25 on payroll now.
Yeah, that's quite a large operation. Now, I guess throughout the business and building the brand, you've built these rather large social networks. So let's take a look at each of them and learn in the process. So I screenshot this yesterday, I think, 495,000. So you're about to crack the 500,000. I imagine there'll be a big party when that happens. Was Facebook in the mix right from the start? Were there other networks, or did you just start out with Facebook?
Yeah, really started out with Facebook and Twitter, to be honest, and Twitter just never returned on investment, so we didn't, for us, so we didn't really focus on that. Facebook, funnily enough, we did hit 500,000, and then do you remember when Facebook deleted all of those accounts that were inactive? Mm-hmm. And then we went under 500, and because the organic reach is just not happening there anymore, we don't advertise with the intention of getting likes, so it's just kind of called right off. Still performing extremely well in terms of return on investment, but we're not pushing likes anymore, and I don't know how it will grow organically. It'll be quite interesting to see how Facebook keeps evolving with its algorithm changes.
Is it fair to say you're on Facebook, you've obviously got a fantastic base, but that you don't focus on it hugely? Is Instagram the preferred platform?
Oh no, we put huge effort into Facebook. So there's one girl who runs and responds to Facebook pretty much entirely, and it is an incredible connection platform because customers are still there. It's just I don't think it's going to grow very fast. It's just a platform that I think people aren't really interested in liking pictures now because they are conscious of what's showing up in their feed, but they are there and they're looking at it. You can see that when you post a video, you can see the watches are a lot higher than the likes. So people are still there. It's just, they're not keen on being seen as being there, if that makes sense.
And I notice you're doing a lot of native posting, and to those of you who haven't heard of that expression, it means uploading a video onto Facebook rather than, say, YouTube and dropping the link. Is that because you see much better results when you do that?
Yeah, and we're not really trying to smash our YouTube channel, to be honest. We're still building that and still figuring that out. So it's we don't need to drive people there. It's easier for them just to watch it on Facebook.
Mm. So I imagine you spend a fair bit on Facebook advertising. Do you have any, if you don't want to disclose the exact amount you spend, do you have a ratio of like what percentage of your online advertising goes on Facebook versus Instagram, or just to sort of know
I,
where the focus is?
yeah, I'd probably say 80% of all of our digital marketing spend is on Facebook.
Yeah. And any particular methods that you find work for your audience? Do you do a lot of promoted posts, or are you doing carousel? Any particular methods that are working well for you right now?
Video works extremely well. It's a very cheap click, and as well as that carousel is great. I mean, we don't really do promoted posts because there's no, unless it's an incredible flat lay or something like that that's going to drive sales, we don't do it because it's nice for my ego for a post to get a couple of thousand likes, but it's not really going to do anything for the business, and it probably costs a fair bit of money to do that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely great advice right there. Not letting your ego get in the way and chasing likes, but actually monitoring the bottom line of the business and making sure you're making money so you can stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty important. Cool. Well, let's move on to Instagram. Obviously, you're doing very well there. Pretty similar sort of audience base. Talk us through your Instagram journey. When did you get started on that one?
Yeah, so Instagram, I can't actually remember what year we started Instagram. It was the same, I believe it was the same year that Instagram started, and we jumped on that pretty fast. Basically, with Instagram, we really just tried to find what our girls wanted us to post. So we monitor our competitors, we monitor our own growth, we monitor all of our most popular posts, everything like that, and use that information to create more relevant and interesting content for our customers. So it's all about looking at what we're doing and improving it based on what our customers are interacting with, because unlike Facebook, people are still liking and commenting on Instagram because it doesn't affect what shows in their feed.
Sure. I'm just going to do a little interactive little test, and this might be interesting feedback for you too, Sarah. How many of you on the call today actually are following the Beginning Boutique Instagram page? Could you put your hands up? You here and there. I think you've got a big opportunity for a whole lot more. There's a huge female list of names on here. So I reckon about 5%. Well, we better do a shout out and say, yeah, you better follow them. So I note that the Office Cat has an Instagram account too. How does that
go? Louie's account is just pretty hilarious. It was the office always wanted to have an office cat, and so when Martin and I bought a house, we got a cat, and Louis has been coming into the office pretty much since he came home, and basically one of the girls at work runs it and just makes him sound so sassy. It's actually just quite hilarious, his Instagram, but we just have it there. I mean, I think it's got 990 followers, and he doesn't follow anyone, and he doesn't really post very often, but the posts are pretty funny.
I reckon a cat wouldn't follow back if it really could have an Instagram. I think it wouldn't follow back. Do you reckon?
No, I know what you mean. No. He doesn't. He gives no. He doesn't care.
He just doesn't care. Now, I am interested to see you do follow 768 people, which on the ratio is not very many for how many followers you have. How do you select who you follow when you are running an account like this?
So basically, we follow people. Well, originally to start, you have to start following people to get people to follow you. So really back in the day, like when I first started, we went through and followed a heap of brands followers that would be relevant to us. So we would look at someone that has, say, like Nylon magazine in the States, and then go through and follow people from their list. which would just increase hopefully our followers and give us a relevant database. So that's how we started, and then I guess from there we followed people that we're interested in for the business, and then we I guess we just don't really follow new people because we don't need to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Do you have any formulas for Instagram or Facebook of how often you post? Are you doing a
Yeah.
daily post or more often?
Yeah, well, we post 12 times a day, and that's because with my girls, I know that she wakes up, she checks her phone, she'll probably pick something from Instagram to make for breakfast, like a chia seed pudding or something like that, and then she's either going to go to the gym and do the workout she found on Instagram at the gym, or she's going to make herself breakfast, like I said before, and then after she's had breakfast, she's going to check her phone again. She's then going to get ready for work and then check her phone again on public transport, and then at work on morning tea break she's going to check her phone. At lunch she's checking her phone. In the afternoon she's checking her phone. After work, picking the restaurant or food, or really just basing her life around using social media for planning. And so being a part of her life, even posting 12 times a day, I think she'd probably only see us once. So that was really our strategy behind how many times to post, because with feeds being so full, if you're only posting once a day, it's extremely hard to have any reach at all.
Wow, that's a lot more than I thought, but it makes total sense. And I love that you have such an intimate knowledge of your ideal market and follow them around, and are really thinking about those times of day and when she is doing that stuff. That's great. Try and get many clients to that point, but they go, oh, but everybody's our client. And I just think you can't do social media justice unless you really have got yourself in their shoes. So, yeah,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So onto Twitter, you don't have nearly as many followers here, but that doesn't worry you, does it?
No, not at all, because it just doesn't pay off for us. So we, I mean, it'd be great now with Periscope if we have more followers on Twitter, but we used to do it a lot and just never saw any sales coming through from it. So it's really hard to keep investing in something if it never returns.
Yeah. It's kind of like a loveless relationship, right? Like a one-way street, nothing coming back. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing a bit of periscoping though. I did notice in your Twitter feed. How often are you periscoping?
We were trying to do it daily, and then you just have to have something really interesting to Periscope, because I don't know if you've been on there lately, but a lot of it is just someone sitting in their room with their phone on them, and I'm not keen on doing that. So we're working on just making sure that it's really great content. Like we have a shoot today, so we'll definitely Periscope today. But the best time to Periscope is in the morning, early, because it's an American social media channel, really. So yeah, that also affects how many times we Periscope,
Yeah, I was at the
depending if we have something interesting on in the morning.
I was at the blogging conference, and 700 women. A lot of them had sort of female-based audiences, and there's quite a few avid periscopers in that mix. It certainly made a big splash this year, hasn't it? And it's definitely a social network to check out if you haven't already taken a look. So we've kind of talked a little bit about strategy in terms of how often you post. I don't know if you mentioned how often you post on Facebook though.
Yeah, the same amount of times. 12, yeah,
Yeah.
12 times.
Okay. And then what's your strategy in terms of the nature of the post? Is one, some of your clothing, and one's something fun, one's someone else? Is there any formula around that for you?
Yep, so on Facebook it's 50-50, inspiration and product. I think that really stems from the fact that Facebook is it's a media. You're entertaining people, you're not selling there. But then you need to include your product, because people do love seeing what your product is. That's why they're following you. So that's why that breakup exists. And then on Instagram, we have a breakup of probably 80-20, 80% product, 20% inspiration. And that's because with every single post on Instagram, it just needs to be editorial quality, and if you can't make it editorial quality, then it needs to be super real and super entertaining. So we've gone for more of the editorial quality, and in doing that, being able to post more product without an issue.
And let's talk more about that editorial quality. How much effort goes into these shoots? I know every time I try and contact you, Sarah's on a shoot, so you must spend a lot of time on the shoot getting it right. But how long, like let's take that photo in the middle, girl looks gorgeous, lovely background, really interesting. How long would a photo like that take to shoot?
No, those photos really don't take much time at all. So that's our product shots in the middle there. But if you go to say the play suit there, there's a lot of effort that goes. We have a girl called Emily, and she's known as E Flat around the office because she's the queen of flat lays. And basically, to make something look like that, you have to fold it absolutely perfectly. You have to make sure that every little piece of that outfit works together, that the positioning is straight. It takes, and then you've got to jump up on a chair to be able to take the picture because you need to be above it as well. So pictures like that, I mean, Em spends about 20 hours a week on social media content, so that's a lot of time.
Yeah. And when you go on a shoot with, say, a model and a bunch of clothes, are you typically out there for a day and it's kind of a day rate, or how do you schedule all that stuff and just for efficiency and roll out with that many posts coming out?
Yeah, so we actually do a shoot a week, a full day of shoot time a week, because we release products 3 times a week. We try to release around 55 to 75 new products a week, and so that just requires that we shoot for a full day. So that all that stuff is shot in the outdoors, which is on the left-hand side with the girl in the blue dress. That content takes about 2 hours to do, and we'll probably do about 12 outfits. But if it's a proper lookbook shoot, like say for example the BBTV, that's a half-day shoot with like 6 outfits rather than doing 12 or 18. So stuff for homepage and things like that, it just depends on. Yeah, we shoot a lot. We shoot a lot for a long time.
And what about filters and things? Are you bringing these photos back, working on them in Photoshop? Are you applying filters
Definitely.
on Instagram? What's your approach there?
Yeah, everything gets edited for me, and that's basically because Emily is a professional and she understands what filters to apply, what light levels to give it. All of the girls are really fanatical about Instagram and beginning as much as I am. I mean, I think even the creative team is probably more passionate about that editorial level content than I could ever push them to be. So it's an incredible team to work with, and we look at the filters based on what does well the week before. So we've started applying filters, but that's done in Photoshop. That's not done on a phone.
Okay. And what about the copy? Because do you have the same person who shoots that does the copy, or is that another section and you've got real professionals in that area as well?
That's another section. Rachel, the girl that runs our Facebook, does our copy for the website and our EDMs. I do the copy for Instagram with another girl filling in as well sometimes when I can't do it. So it's just a team effort, and we sort of all just come together to make sure that we get it done. But Rachel's just inherently hilarious. If you want to see a really funny Meet the Team, we did a video with her, and you can just get an understanding of her sense of humour. But if you've got someone in your workplace that has talent for writing, it's great to be able to allow them to do that for you and to show your brand spirit through that.
Absolutely. What about hashtags? Are you a fan of? What's the ultimate level? How do you choose what hashtags you use? What's your spin on hashtags?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of hashtags. Like I've tried hashtagging and I've tried not hashtagging, and then we've tried it again, and it just doesn't ever seem to make a difference to followers, and it looks messy and it looks try-hardish, and I haven't seen the benefit yet. But then heaps of my competitors do it, and they must see something from it. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep doing it, I would assume.
Maybe they're not as thorough with their analysis, because you keep coming back to that, and I think it's a really good point to highlight that, it's not just about putting together the gorgeous shoe, it's not just about posting it, it's actually about analysing whether you're getting a return and what's working and what's not. And just because something has been working doesn't mean it will continue to. So how often do you revise and check what you're doing and look to make a change? Is there no rhythm because you just do it when it's needed, or is there literally a full in-depth look at it monthly or something like that?
We do it weekly, so we have people. Rachel runs a report on all of our Instagram. It's a manual report. Sorry, I should say it's not. She doesn't run it. She has to fill it in, and then based on her recommendations, we try new things for the week ahead. We're trying new things every day, buying new props every week. It's just constant evolution of making our content more and more, as I would say, lust-worthy.
Yeah. It's all very lust-worthy, if you ask me. I want to buy all of it.
Awesome.
And I hope
Mission
you will
achieved.
be hands up, those of you who are looking at these models going, oh, that dress is pretty good. I wouldn't mind those ones for stuff. There goes the hands. They're straight up. That was very fast. Very good. Okay, now let's get on to influencer marketing too, because that's one of the topics for today. And we better pause in case this is a new term to some people and just explain what influencer marketing is. So, Sarah, if you get asked that, how would you explain it to someone?
Yeah, so influencer marketing for me is teaming up with people in your community or people that you know influence your community in their purchasing decisions, but also in their lifestyle decisions, and teaming up with them to offer something that is useful for their community and useful for them, and then being able to cross-promote and build each other's networks through working together.
Yeah, for me, it's almost a new, I don't know which segment it fits under, kind of social, but it's kind of PR-ish as well, isn't it? Like, I love the fact that when someone wants to come to us for some PR, rather than say, well, I can get you into this magazine, but you won't see it for 3 months, influencer marketing can generally happen a lot quicker than that, and it's much more targeted too, isn't it? Would you say that's a fair comment?
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's just so much more relevant as well.
Mm. Yeah, but finding the right influencers is always an issue. So if that's the understanding, when should a business use influencer marketing? And excuse the slide because it's not really up to my standard, but it does really explain it quite well. Of if you are the guy in the grey top, which none of you are because you're mostly female, you've got your certain network, right? The girl on the right is an influencer and has so many more you can talk to. Um, but when should a business go, I should do some influencer marketing right now for this campaign? When do you think it stacks up?
I think all the time. I really believe that you should, as soon as you can do influencer marketing, you should be doing it. So basically, I started doing this with beginning probably in 2011. We started giving vouchers to bloggers to write about us. And so I would give them a $150 voucher because then we were selling all designer clothing, and then they would blog about us and share about us, and that was the only way I could get the word out about beginning was to try and get influencers on board to tell people, because media doesn't want to know about a small online store that isn't, we're not making holographic laser clothing that's newsworthy. Do you know what I mean? We're a regular store taking good care of customers. It's not that newsworthy, so you have to get influencers on board. So the faster the better.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Do you think it's even fair to say that you were one of the early ones to market with influencer marketing then? I mean, driven by the need to because of your situation, but people weren't doing it in the early days, were they?
Yeah, I think we were some of the first ones to do it just simply because of the response that we had from bloggers as well. So I'm sure that there were other people doing it, of course, and I don't think that we were the first. Maybe in Australia it would have been more likely to be one of the first than, say, America. But yeah, I know that working with these girls, it was some of the first times that they had been contacted to do this sort of work.
Yeah, great. So that must have been interesting in those early days to be like, I want to do something. Yeah, I want to do something with you. How do we do this? I don't know. So how do you cut those deals when
Yeah,
there's
well, back then we would just use Google Analytics and really report to them on what traffic they brought to the site, and we actually used to give them credits based on how much traffic they drove to the site. So it sort of evolved from being just a voucher to write about us to being a voucher to write about us and increasing amounts depending on the traffic they drove, and then to now it's very regimented to now, like. We use a lot of free girls as well that we just give clothes, but if you want to get anyone that's got quite a decent following, you need to probably talk to their agent, and then as well as talking to their agent, you have to provide them clothes that they want to wear, and then as well as providing them clothes that they want to wear, you've got to make sure that you negotiate the right terms and like making sure that they post quickly, and yeah, I suppose the list just goes on.
When you say someone who's got a decent following, what do you deem decent? Is there a benchmark of it's got to be plus so many followers?
Yeah, for us now there is. Back in the beginning there wasn't, but now we like to work with girls with 50,000 plus, simply because if it's actually going to be beneficial to us, they need to bring some weight to the relationship as well. It can't just be us giving them followers. We need them to have a community of people listening to them.
Sure. I think we will get into more about how to suss out a good influencer from a bad one. And we've talked about, I guess, influencer marketing starting. Who are the main players? I mean, it's fair to say that there's different players in different verticals, right? And you pretty much play in the fashion one. So I guess you don't really know who the major players are in other verticals, but very much do in fashion. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, if you are in a different vertical, you would know who the influencers are because they're influencing your buying decisions. They're influencing your product decisions. Like, if you don't know who the influencers are in your market, I think there's bigger issues than who you're going to contact to give clothes to. You know, so it's the people that influence your business decisions, I think, on the main stage as well as just being really good looking or something like that.
So how do you seek out, I mean, you must be on the lookout for new ones all the time. How do you get wind of them? How do you approach them? How do you find out about them in the first place?
Yep. So, well, all of my staff are on social media quite a lot as well. So they all report if they find someone awesome. We also have a page called bikiniBoutique.com.au/collaborate where you can apply to become a BB stylist. We're always on the popular, like looking at people on the popular page. But then as well, you know, there is always buzz around certain people in regular media as well. So it's good to see what the media is talking about, mainstream media is talking about as well. But probably by the time they're on mainstream media, they're going to be too expensive to work with anyway. So just stalk your popular feed, I guess, is my hot tip.
So my understanding is you don't tend to work with celebrities. Is that a conscious decision because it doesn't relate to the brand, or is it because of a price-driven sort of thing?
Yeah, price-driven. I mean, I would love to work with celebrities, but how would you? Yeah, I feel like $10,000 investment, you know, for not a huge celebrity, would be difficult to ensure it paid off. I'm sure that it does and that it would because people are always using celebrities to endorse, but I mean, we're not Victoria's Secret and we're not going to get probably anywhere near the press they do using the models that they do. So it's an interesting discussion using celebrities because you've got to figure out how you're going to report on that investment.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to hope that they are as sound as you think they are. I won't name the celebrity, but I did have an experience working with one once, and they had some medical issues that we should have foreseen come up during the campaign, and it did hamper the campaign, which we probably could have done more diligence on prior to. So lesson learned then. So how do you choose which influencers? Let's say the girls in your team are putting some forward. How do you, obviously it's not just a numbers game. If they've all got 50,000, they've all met that prerequisite. What are the other sort of criteria you're looking for?
Yeah, we need to contact them and then see what's happening with their agency, if they are represented or not. And then based off of that, you want to get prices as well. And then you want to negotiate prices because everything is negotiable. And then after you've negotiated the prices, I guess you just want to make sure that you test it out with one post first. Make sure that they haven't just bought all their followers and that they actually drive some traffic. Maybe give them a discount code to measure it so that you can see like an exclusive discount code or something like that. But yeah, it's you've just got to choose the ones that are in your budget and that are influencing people around your demographic as well.
Yeah, sure. So biggest influencers in the market. I know I flagged this with you earlier. I just Googled and I found Le Guide Noir and it had a bunch of different Instagram people and there's all different verticals as we said. So there's Instagram followers in fashion and there's some in tech and there's some in sport and it really depends, you know, who's your target market. And then there's many of these lists as well and different people will rate them in different ways. But this one I thought was quite good because it had posts and average per day and engagement rate and influence score and all the rest of it. So these were the ones in fashion. And I think you made the comment, you do recognise a lot of these people, don't you?
Yeah, we've worked with Lisa. Margaret was a very long time ago, so number 6. We've worked with number 4. An extremely long time ago, we worked with number 2. Have spoken to number 1, but not certain that we've worked with her. I don't remember now. Mimi, we've shot with and worked with quite a lot. Chloe Ting, we've worked with her as well. and Gyps. Actually, we've worked with all of them except for maybe Jessica. I'm not sure if we've worked with her,
I think
but
Amanda.
we don't work with them anymore. We
Okay.
don't work with them anymore.
Yeah, Amanda Shedforth's a Sunny Coast girl, I believe, but leads a pretty global
Yeah,
existence
she
as
is.
well. Yeah. So, you look at these Instagram accounts too, don't you, sometimes, and you think, oh, they must live somewhere far away and, completely unrelatable. But, she's up there at Noosa. So here she is doing this Instagram influencer thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how sophisticated this market is, right? And where do you think the market's at? I feel like it's matured, but it's still got a long way to go. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. And I think people are trying to get as much money out of it as they can at the moment. And I think it will settle down a fair bit in the future as well. So, yeah, it's got a long way to go.
So what's your prediction in that regard? Is it going to be like websites where, first it was the Wild Wild West and everyone charged an arm and a leg and one child and a cow, and then it became more regulated and now there's kind of a reasonable price for a website? Do you think it'll go along those lines?
Yeah, I think it will definitely, well, because people can buy followers so cheaply as well, I think that there will be obviously this top list here, especially number one and number two, even number three and number four, they're not going to get cheaper simply because they are now pretty much celebrities. So they're not going to get any cheaper, but I think the middle industry is going to probably find some sort of price that is actually reasonable for what value they can offer businesses. And I think as long as you have a reputation as well, that's going to help you in the future as well, because people are going to start realizing that if they want to build real communities, they've actually got to work with people with real communities. So I suppose that's a little bit of what my prediction is.
Mm. And how do you spot when you talk about the real communities? People can go out and buy these followers. So how do you tell if they've got 50,000 followers that they've actually purchased?
Yeah, have a look at how many posts they've done. If they haven't really done any posts near 50,000, that's just not, Jessica, I would assume she must have deleted some posts because she's been around for a very long time, and to only have 4,000 posts, that seems quite low. Just looking at how many posts, because we've got 9,500 posts, and I know we don't delete. So just knowing that, I would look at how many times they post, look at how many likes they got per image. That's a real indication of whether they're buying followers, and just monitor them as well. So if you want to spend big money on a girl, monitor how many followers she goes up by every week and see if it's, if it correlates to the number that she actually has on her total followers.
Do you think there is much of that activity in the industry, or do you think some of these that have these large followers, are going to be really cynical here, have bought early and are now riding the wave?
I've definitely heard rumours about people that have bought early and they're riding the wave, and that's awesome because they're probably never going to get found out. But there's competitors that I have right now that we monitor every week, and we know that they're buying fans. They've actually gone backwards in the last 2 weeks again. So you can tell when people are buying followers because their account behaves strangely, and then you can tell who's real because it's slow and steady wins the race sort of thing. So it's an interesting question, and it's not worth buying them. It doesn't work anyway.
Does Instagram ever shut you down? Does it work out you're buying them and shut you down? I've heard rumours of that, but I don't know them to be true.
I've never heard them to be true.
There's always a lot of rumours on Instagram, aren't there? So let's talk money, moolah, cash. How do these influencers make money? What sort of money? You've made the comment, I can't afford celebrities, I can't afford those A-grade Instagram celebrities even. What sort of money, if you don't mind disclosing, are you prepared to pay an influencer, and how do you kind of put together a deal?
It actually changes per girl, and we're not willing to spend $1,000 on a post. That's just ridiculous. It really depends on, the deal is always done based on how many followers she has, what sort of response she has, and really what sort of influence she has amongst those people. So 2 people with the exact same following, but one that doesn't post as well would get a different deal, if that makes sense. Like it's really about quality over quantity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And how many of them, I mean, I'm supposing, like you said, clothes are a given. What amount of clothes are you having to give them? Is it like one outfit or several
Oh,
outfits?
just an outfit. I mean, if you pay for a post, you need to give them the clothes to wear in that post.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, and influencers are making money in other ways though too, aren't they? I mean, they literally are getting invited to events for which they're paid. What are some of the other things you've heard that they're doing in their Instagram celebrity worlds?
Um, well, I mean, I know that a lot of them fly with certain airlines, so they'll probably get, I don't know if they're getting a ticket and getting paid as well, but they're definitely flying with people like Cathay Pacific sponsors, influencers to get them posting about their different levels of comfort, um, holidays, yeah, really anything that someone wants to promote that they think they're relevant for, they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. And let's go through some of the sorts of posts influencers do. So these are all posts from your networks, and you've got some favorites. Can you just talk us through, how that post came together, who it is, maybe what was exchanged, whatever you're comfortable to share? What's the story behind this post?
Yeah, so this is Helen Owen, and we gifted her that dress there simply because we wanted to reach into the American market. And Helen is based in the States. That deal was worked out with her agency, and that was quite a while ago. So I know that Helen's grown in followers quite a lot. I can look it up. I think she almost has 800,000 now. So we probably won't work with her. 761,000. We probably won't work with her again now, just simply because she's too huge now, if that makes sense. So yeah, but that's one of the best posts we've ever had.
Do you ever get a bit of loyalty there though? Like you go, she's too huge now, she won't work with us. Do they ever go, oh, but you guys helped me out at the start. I'll do something for you guys. Do you get a bit of that?
No,
Never.
no.
All right. No loyalty in fact. Yeah, I really.
No, no. I mean, not when you're that big, because she's pretty much the thing with influencers now is that they are like mini medias, and they've got to take care of their rates, and they've got to make money as well. So it's all it's all part of the industry, I guess.
Mm. How do you even shop for locations as well? I guess your photographers are just always on the lookout, are they, for good backgrounds and cataloguing in their brains where would be good for this dress will look amazing on this, lilac background.
Yeah, we definitely do that. But Helen actually took this picture with her photographer.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a great one. It's really natural. What about this one? Quite different. Product close up.
Yeah, so this is just a post we did. I didn't actually pay for this one, but it's just a beautiful, well-styled picture that shows off that watch, and so that's something that we've reposted and we have tagged her as well. So hopefully she went up in followers from doing that, and yeah, it's interesting. It just highlights the product well, and I think it works for both parties.
Yeah, and in case those of you don't have a close eye to detail like Sarah and her team do, that background is the same as the face of the watch and the same as the bracelet. So it's very subtly styled. I didn't pick that the first time round, but looking at it closer, you can see that it's very much styled, as simple as that image is. And here's yet another one. What do you like about this picture? And tell us about this particular one, how it came together.
Yeah, so this is a girl that we are working with currently. Chloe is handling this relationship, and yeah, this girl loves styling. She actually posted about why she does what she does on her Instagram, and yeah, she just knows how to take a good picture, and she loves doing it. So if you go on her Instagram, which is Kirsty Fleming, you can just see that she really loves posting in outfits and taking selfies. So, yeah.
Hmm. Here's some examples of some more amazeballs influencer posts, and this gives you an idea, I guess, of how many likes some of your good posts are getting. So 17 comments, 4,106 likes. What made this one so good? This is the same girl, right? Looks like the same room.
Yeah, it's the same girl. I think it's just simple. Her hair looks fantastic. It's just simple, and it just shows the product really well. For us, the product is the bra there. That's what we've gifted her, and yeah, it just shows exactly what it looks like on someone that isn't a model. So, whilst she's very beautiful, I think girls want to see things on real people as well as on models.
Mm, yeah. And this is the glasses.
Yeah, um, yeah, it's just a fantastic shot, and I think it just shows the product extremely well. That product sold out. Um, yeah, it's an extremely popular product as well, and yeah, she just understands how to work it, I guess. Sorry, they're building a bookcase in my office. If it becomes really annoying, I can yell at them.
That's okay, keeping it real. So yeah, this one had huge likes, 4,569, 52 comments. And you must be loving it when you see all these people tagging their mates in. There's no better sale, is there, when it's peer recommendation going, girlfriend, you'd like these.
Yeah, I think that's what most of the comments are on our. Definitely, most of the comments on our Instagram are all tags of people's friends.
Yeah. And I mean, how can you compete with that as a retailer when your friends are shopping for you online and tagging you in and going, those glasses you wanted? Here they are. It's brilliant. I love it. Okay, and this one we said best one ever. Was that best one ever in terms of being one of your favourites? I think you made the comment you haven't really gone over and analysed which is the best post we ever did. It was just more of a favourite, this one, wasn't it?
It's just breaking up again. Sorry.
That's okay. I just said this one was just a favourite, not necessarily the best performer, which is why we put best one ever. Is that right? Are we still
I
getting break
think I heard. Do I? Sorry, can you say that one more time?
I just said, why was this post the best one ever? It was more so because you just loved the image. It wasn't necessarily the best performer. Is that correct?
Um, what I think he said was this is the best one ever. And yeah, we basically analysed this shop based on the sales that came through after she posted, and there was incredibly strong sales for this product after she posted, and we were able to use that to verify that at that time when she was charging that rate, it returned on investment.
Fantastic. Okay, I really hope you
Hold
can.
on one second.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just getting them to stop making the bookcase right now.
We've only got about 15 more minutes, or even 10, so they can get back into their book.
It's fine. It's fine.
We've kind of we've talked about the package, so I'm going to skip through that. Let's get to, and there's only a couple more slides, and we'll open it up for questions. So you have your product, you've chosen your influencer, you've cut a deal. What's next? These were sort of your tips. Do you want to walk us through these?
Yeah, so once you've chosen the influencer that you want to work with, you've really got to follow up with them. So basically, they're going to choose a product, and then you're going to have to send it to them. And then, if you have it in the document, what dates you expect them to work with you, you also need to follow up on them as well. So you want to follow up and get the content for yourself. I know that Chloe actually saves everything that we get made for us so that we have it in the future. And then I think, if you just have a really clear understanding of what you're looking for together in document that they obviously have to read before they start working with you, it just eliminates any future problems. And then you just need to be super upfront about the quality of the picture that you need. And I think that's something that people forget. You assume that if these girls are producing beautiful content all the time, they'll produce beautiful content for you, but it's not just a given. So we always give them examples of who's done a great job so that they can actually use that to plan how they will post for us too.
Mm. Can I ask a difficult question of if they haven't done a good job, how do you broach that and what recourse do you have? How do you handle it?
Hopefully they have an agent so that you can discuss it with the agent. But then, you also have to be super upfront with them as well. So I remember when we were working with a girl and, the post that she gave us just was not up to standard at all. It actually made the product look bad, and we let her know that and requested a repost. But that's not great for the relationship, but at the same time, if you don't tell them, they're not going to change it and you're not going to get anything. So it's just about open communication.
What happened in that situation? She did a repost begrudgingly or willingly?
Sorry, it just cut out there.
I just said, what happened in that situation? Did she do a repost?
Yes, she did do a repost. So
Yeah.
that was good. That was a great outcome.
Fantastic. All right. So, in summary, Sarah's top 5 social tips. I'll let you take it away again because these are yours.
Yep. So, yeah, the three things that I always say are the first three, and that's that you need to make everything beautiful. I mean, social media is a media still. It's not taken for granted that people are going to follow you, and it's really not taken for granted that people want to hear what you've got to say. So you need to make sure that it's beautiful and entertaining. You need to post regularly. I think once a day. It just depends on your brand. It depends what your person is doing. You need to know how many times they're online and post regularly for them. The third thing is about being relevant. And so, for example, the Victoria's Secret show was a big deal last night. So we posted about the Victoria's Secret show. And I think, it's just really important to be one of the first movers and to be relevant and showing things that are in media. You need to respond quickly, and by that I mean just making sure that you answer people's questions quickly, making sure that you get back to people as fast as possible and provide them with the information that they want, because customer service happens everywhere now. It's not just on your phone or in your emails. And the fifth one is learn from what works. So as I said, we report on everything and record everything weekly, and then we update what we're doing to be more of what works rather than just guessing.
And any tools that you use to know what works and what doesn't? How do you, or just generally to be more efficient, what tools are your favourites that you'd recommend to those online?
I think you asked me how do we tell what our favourites are or what works. So I'm going to try and answer that, but feel free to cut over me if that's not what you said. We know what works because of the amount of likes that we get and the amount of comments, and we basically focus on delivering what people are liking and commenting on in a new and fresh way.
Yeah, and I also wanted to know your favourite tools as well. What are your favourite tools as well, Sarah?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my line's breaking up. Your favourite tools?
Our favourite tools, yes. So we use Schedulegram to make sure that we schedule everything, which is an incredible tool. It does cost money, but obviously it saves you a lot of hassle and time in your life. But we don't schedule too far in advance because we want to make sure it's still real. We also use Iconosquare, which is a great tool for just seeing what is popular, seeing how many likes, seeing how many comments. It's an easy monitoring free tool. And then as well, of course, we use Google Analytics and Facebook Analytics.
Awesome. Okay. I hope people can hear me. I'm not sure if they can.
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, good.
You're good now.
Yay. I have no idea why it's going a bit in and out, and I apologise to everyone that it is. If you've enjoyed this session, and Sarah's going to hang around for just a little bit longer and is open to questions, so start thinking what they may be and feel free to drop them through on chat, or I can unmute you, provided you've got a good mic set up at home. I can unmute you and you can ask Sarah directly yourself. But if you want more Instagram tips, we run these BYO laptop sessions. You can come on down, bring your laptop and your phone or iPad, obviously, for Instagram. And in a half-day session next week, we're running it in the afternoon. You can come and learn a whole lot more. So we'll take you through Iconosquare, Schedulegram, and a bunch of other apps that make Instagram work really, really well. There's only 6 spots left, and you can grab yours at www.thecreativecollective.com.au/events. Would love to see you there. It's the very last Instagram training for the year. And if you do want help with an Instagram campaign, we are doing Instagram advertising these days for clients. We are doing Instagram as integrated as part of other social media campaigns, doing a lot of crowdfunding marketing actually. And, we also have a relationship with an influencer agency where we can connect you to Instagram influencers as well. So do let us know if we can help you in any way with your Instagram activities. So I will see if there's any questions now. So raise your hand if you would like to ask Sarah a question. And I'm just going to check the chat area and see if any have come through. Usually I find everyone's super shy to start with. Here we go. Lisa Watigo would like to know, do you post the same content on Facebook or Insta, or will you mostly keep each channel unique?
Yeah, we use some of the same content across both. It just really depends on, we definitely don't post them at the exact same time, and we would never just link and share. It's posted at different times per person running it. So we do use the same content, but not at the same time, and we try to keep them as unique as possible, but of course we have finite resources as well.
Yeah, sure thing. She said, what was the name of the monitoring site you use? You mentioned at the end as one of your favourite tools. That would be Iconosquare, would it be?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So Iconosquare and Schedulegram is another one that she mentioned that a few of you are asking about. Rebecca Kempsky says, do you submit your content to content communities? Have you had any success doing so?
No, we haven't done that. And I'm not sure what you mean by content community, actually.
Yeah, I'm not either, actually. I haven't heard of that expression before. Maybe provide a little bit more context, Rebecca, and we'll do our best to answer that.
Yeah, unless it's like WeCard or Pinterest or something like that, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, Taran has said, how many followers does a person need to be considered as an influencer? I've heard 5,000, but it really depends on the person looking to hire them. Would you say that's the case, Tara?
Yeah, I mean, Culture Kings was saying that they actually look for mini celebrities and then use those mini celebrities to interact and get people into their store. So, and they're like anywhere from 500 to 3,000 followers.
Sure. Another one, lots of questions. This is great. Christina O'Leary asked, do you ever use email marketing or rely completely on social?
Yeah, we send 3 emails a week, so we're always using EDMs.
Yeah. So EDMs, for those of you who haven't heard that expression, is electronic direct messaging. So you might use a platform like MailChimp or Constant Contact or Auto Response. There's many, many of them. So yeah, it's still a strong marketing piece. Winnie Parker says, when you write a description, do you have any techniques that really work, such as added the blogger's address, hashtags, etc.?
I think try and ask a question where possible, or try and provide some interesting and relevant information. So if there's a new trend coming through, we try to reference that trend, and hopefully that helps people to have a better decision around whether they want to buy that piece of clothing or not. And we don't really use hashtags except for our own hashtag, which is hashtag TeamPB.
Sure. So would you recommend that as a technique to the others, like establishing your own hashtag and thrashing that?
Yeah, well, if you want to get user-generated content, then you need to have a hashtag that helps you identify their unique content.
Yeah, sure.
So definitely go for it.
And was Team BB quite strategic and nice and short to throw on, because Beginning Boutique's quite long, isn't it?
Yeah, and we actually own the URL bb.com.au, so that's quite useful as well. And I think the shorter the better with the hashtag, because it just means that people get it right more often.
Yeah, sure. Jackie Cartwright has asked, I'm wanting to ask, what do you think of loop giveaways and collaborating with other companies? We're in the early stages of establishing our online business and have been discussing a competition like this and other companies. Have you done anything like this in your early days to help build your followers?
Oh, definitely. We've done everything. So, it's always great to experiment. And one of our company values is YOLO, and that's just because try everything. Something might work that you never thought would work. So, I think it's an excellent thing to do. And if they have a bigger following than you, just make sure that you offer them something that is worth their time as well.
Sure. Rebecca Kampsky's given a little bit more context to her content communities question. She's written, there are a number of sites that allow you to submit your content so their established audience has the opportunity to see it. So that's what I guess she means. Do you use those networks at all?
I still haven't actually ever heard of this before. I'm sure that's a great thing. I have never heard of this sort of community before.
Yeah.
Unless it's We Heart It and Tumblr, and then yes, we do. But I haven't heard of this before.
Christine O'Leary's trying to help out and said, I think by content community, she might mean something like Outbrain or equivalent. Maybe, Rebecca, you want to let us know some examples of those so we can go, oh, yeah, we use them. We just don't call them content community or not. I've heard about
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
never used it.
Yeah.
Jackie Cartwright's got another question, just making the most of having access to someone awesome like Sarah. Also, as a large brand, what do you think of other companies who share pictures from your Instagram account? Do you mind other people sharing?
As long as they're not direct competitors using it to sell what we sell, I think that's fine. I think it's a bit of a dog move if you take someone's picture knowingly, because I mean, we thought that it was a customer's picture once and posted a girl on a swan, and it happened to be Bird's Nest picture, and they just contacted us and we took it down straight away. So, it's some people honestly don't know, but if you know and you're selling what they're selling, I don't think it's fair because they've spent the money and the creative energy to make that. So, but if they're say it's a hair care brand and they post our picture, that's fantastic. That's collaboration. That's awesome.
Brian Isaac, one of the few brave men on this audience. Seriously, if we were looking at them, it would be very few men looking at the names that have come up. Brian's asked today, would you advise a very small company to leverage influencer marketing to boost their presence at the start?
Definitely. We did that as well, and there are people out there that will work with you for free if you have a product that they want to use, and hopefully you do have a product that they want to use for free, and then you can just give them product instead of paying them.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea too. It's just finding them though, isn't it? So you might need a little bit of help with that, or you might need to spend some time researching who they are and probably getting a few no's before you get a yes. Would you agree with that, Sarah?
Yeah. Yep.
Rachel McLean has asked, what's your number one piece of advice for startups or small businesses looking to grow their Instagram following?
I think just the 3 points that we talked about before, but aside from that, do giveaways, work with people, with influencers like we've been talking about. I think just making sure that you're doing something that is different from your competitors well, and just research. Look at Frank Body, that sort of thing. Like, there's incredible stories to be told, and you can use social media to do that and use Instagram to tell your story.
Sure. Another one from Crystal. Do you have any recommendations for a service type business? I mean, for me, the same principles apply whether you're a product based or service based. Would you agree with that, Sarah, or any other particular nuances if you were running a service based thing through these channels?
Yeah, it's starting to break up again, just so you know, but I heard the start of that. I do think the service and product is the same, and have worked with, say, Hamilton Island before with Beginning Boutique, and basically we were offered half price accommodation. It wasn't even free, and we had to post a certain amount of times. So that service is a commodity as well. So you can always use that to get someone to post with you and work with you as an influencer.
Sure. Winnie Parker has asked, what are the don'ts? I think she means the do's and don'ts when posting videos and images.
It just broke up again. I can open my chat if you want to send that to me, or I can go on to the next question as well.
Okay, I'll send it to you on chat. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Make sure it was what are the don'ts to do when you're posting videos and images, and I think really make sure that you're not offensive. It's really important to make sure that with everything that you do, it is relevant as well. Don't steal content. I mean, if you're just reposting it, you can say hashtag source unknown if you don't know the source. Just create beautiful content and make sure that you're always moving forward in that area the best you can. So the content communities question was related to Blog Engage, Triber. Honestly, I've never heard of them before, so I can't tell you much about them, unfortunately.
They might be new ones for you to try out, Sarah.
Yeah, maybe.
Sometimes you can learn from the audience too, which is always good. Um,
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm going to check those out myself. I love it. Blog Engage and Triber is what Rebecca shared. So Blog Engage and Triber, Tribe with two R's on the end. Haven't heard of them. Caitlin Fahey said, "Have you ever had a bad experience with an influencer? If so, how did you handle it?" I think I asked you that same question earlier, didn't I?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to have open communication. I guess it's like everything, the more you can actually just communicate and be honest about how you feel and they can be honest about how they feel, just means that you're going to get a better relationship ultimately at the end of the day, but beyond relationship, hopefully better result.
This is a good question. Maybe this person is a budding influencer. Taryn Kalmeyer says, "Do you have any tips for influencers on building an appropriate following and getting attention from companies like BB?"
Um, we get emails every day from people that want to work with us. So just email, and I think if you are able to offer something to them that is going to be relevant and obviously useful for them in terms of content, or if you it's definitely about how beautiful your feed is. So people are looking at that and watching that to determine if they're going to work with you. So, making sure that you've got some content there that is lustworthy and is worth a company investing in.
Yeah, fantastic. I think there's some more questions coming through, but a couple have answered because we actually had covered them, or I knew the answer to, and I don't think is relevant to everyone else on the call. So, and I'm also conscious of time and your time being really precious. But Sarah, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the really large
Thank
audience
you.
we had on today for giving up an hour of your time. It was really great to get those insights. I think you shared a lot of pearls of wisdom. And yeah, would you all join me in thanking Taryn? Sorry, not Taryn. I'm looking at Taryn's name there. Sarah, drop me a line and I can read out some of the thank yous and pieces of the best takeaways you got. So drop those down and I'll share them with Sarah, post the call. And yeah, look out for
Yep,
these. We run them fairly regularly. But Sarah, thank you.
that's all right. Have a great day. I hope everyone learned something new today.
I'm absolutely sure they did. Here's some good feedback. Thanks, very informative from Rhoda, very insightful, engaging. Rebecca, good session. Thanks, Yvette and Sarah from Jenny. Many thanks, great session from Mary. Thank you, really good information. I'm very surprised you post 12 per day. Thanks so much, Sarah. You're an inspiration, learned heaps. Thanks, it was excellent, and so on. So thank you, everyone. Good luck with your Instagram, chasing down of influencers and growing your networks. And do get in touch and let us know if you have a great win from a tip you've learned on one of these webinars. Thanks, Sarah. I'll send you a recording, everyone.
Thank you.
Logging off. Bye.